ba-doo-doo, ba-da, ba-doo-doo-doo-doo, ba-da, ba-doo-doo, ba-da, ba-doo-doo-doo.
Hello Tumblr, it's me, Bouncey. Nice to meet you. What's up? Welcome to my Q&A. Pardon if it's a little bit messy in here. Okay, so I had 2 people request that I do speeches from Hamlet. So this is for Anon and for Fixation Dump, who is a fellow Michigander. Hello! I don't have it memorized, I'm sorry, so I'm going to be reading from my beautiful Kindle, which, by the way, has a sticker that says Hamlet would listen to NCR on it. Yes, that's Howl and Sophie. Here we go. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounce it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, as I had lief the town crier spoke many times, nor do not the air too much with your hand thus, but use it all gently, for in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. And that is from Act 2, Scene 2, in the Hall of the Castle. So thank you very much for sending that one. Okay, this one is for Anything Goes fandoms. So what do you do in reality? I'm a grad student. I'm studying English. I'm getting my master's degree in English literature, and I hope someday to be a professor of English literature, because nobody teaches my boy Willie Shakes the way they should, which is to say horribly inappropriately and with lots of cuss words. None Gender Left Pain asked, if you could be any animal for a week, what would you be? A raccoon. Always. 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 My go-to is raccoons. My dad once told me I had little raccoon hands, and ever since then, that's like my favorite thing to say is like, oh yeah, I can take care of that with my little raccoon hands. So, always a raccoon. Big raccoon energy. If you couldn't guess by all the black, I almost wore eyeliner, but I've been like crying all afternoon. I had therapy today. So, what is your favorite Shakespeare play? From Freerunner4427. Hey, I see you in my notes. Thank you, boo. My comedy would be The Tempest. It's my all-time favorite. Ferdinand can get it. Miranda can get it. Prospero needs to see a therapist also, but he can get it. My favorite tragedy is probably either Romeo and Juliet, because if you let 3 teenage boys loose on any stage to cause havoc, I'm gonna like it. And that's the plot of Romeo and Juliet, is just what are these 3 motherfuckers gonna get into? And I love that for them. Or Antony and Cleopatra, because Antony and Cleopatra has some just really good romantic lines in it. Like, I'm a hoe for romance, guys. Do not get me wrong. I love a good rom-com. Like, Ever After is my all-time favorite movie. Shout out to 21B Sunset Towers. You know what's up. Do you have a pet? I do, actually. He's right here. Come to mama. Oof. This is Ziggy. His Royal Highness Prince Ziggy Stardust. We call him Zigglebert a lot of the time, or Ziggelbertolini. I don't know why. It just kind of happened. He's a bastard. You're a horrible baby. All he does is hiss and, like, yell and jump all over the place and get white fur everywhere, but we love him so much. Don't we? I also have a fat daughter named Asami. I love her so much. She gives the best cuddles, but she's napping out on the couch, and I don't want to pick her up because she doesn't like getting carried. So, she's out there vibing. Trust me. We love Asami. Oh, I also have pigs. I have piggies. I forgot to mention that. Not here in the apartment, obviously, but I grew up on a farm in the northern half of my state, and I raised pigs and chickens for a really long time. My favorite chicken was probably Henrietta von Klucksworth. She was rotund and very dumb, and I loved her very much. And then Tiny Love is my brother's chicken, who he has raised to ride around the farm on his head. Super cool chicken. Love him. Love my brother. Shout out to Samwise. You're a little weirdo. Chemistry Sherlock whatever sent me some really excellent questions, so thank you so much for that. And also thank you for leaving your comments on my stories. I read them, I love them, and I appreciate them. So, what are 3 things your dream house must have? 1, clawfoot bathtub. No ifs, ands, or buts. I want 1 clawfoot bathtub just for the drama of it all. I want one. 2, a casement window with a reading bench. So when Peter Pan Peter Pan 2, Return to Neverland, came out in like 2003 or 2004. Jane had a window seat, and then you could open it outwards, which is a casement window, which is what I want. I want a window I can like push one out and like lean out the window like the drama hoe that I am with, I don't know, like my glass of tea or red wine or whatever, and just chill in my window seat and read books with Jane, okay? Ooh, number 3, the babe, my darling boyfriend who is at work, and I have agreed that we'd like a house with a tower. The town I grew up in has a lot of really rich people in it, and it was like a founder's town. So down our main street next to the river that goes through, there are a ton of old brick houses that have like tiny little just towers, and we want one of those. We'll never be able to afford it, but you know, that's the goal. Also, I hope you guys are liking my pirate hat. I have 2 Renaissance Fair get-ups. I have like a princess one, and I have a pirate one, and I went with the pirate one because I'm like the pirate AU girl. So, you're welcome. Cookies in a jar or in a tin. Tin cookies, usually because they're butter cookies, and I fucks with that. I love butter cookies. I love dipping them in my coffee. Good shit. The third question from Chemistry Sherlock Whatever was, what is your favorite piece of clothing I've ever owned? So this is my robe that I like hang out in at night, and it's super comfortable. It's from Rihanna. She doesn't have it on her website right now, which is really unfortunate because it's the most comfortable thing I've ever worn in my life. But I call this the robe of horny posting. It's a little too big. It's like silk, and it does that thing, you know, when you walk. So, that's the robe of horny posting. 221B Sunset Towers, hey girl, asked me, what is the craziest customer story? Because I work 2 nights a week as a manager of a grocery store. The craziest story, at the end of September, we had a guy, it's like 11 p.m. The store closes at midnight. This guy comes running in, just losing his mind, just absolutely freaking out. And I'm like, okay, how can I help you? I'm the manager. I can handle this. He's wearing a Christmas sweater, and he's covered in hay. It's in his hair, it's on the sweater, it's on his corduroy pants. And he looks at me dead in the eye and goes, what day is it? I'm like, okay, it's Saturday. What can I do for you? He's like, I'm tripping balls. I dropped acid with my buddies yesterday. I freaked out in a hotel room and I got kicked out, and I just need a blanket so I can go sleep behind the middle school. And I was like, okay. So I help him get a blanket. I'm like, do you need me to call anyone for you? We tried calling both of his parents. That didn't end well. But then I was going to offer to like call up a local shelter because we have one that will come pick you up if you're like under the influence and you need help. And he was like, no, don't worry about it. And before I could stop him or like ask anyone for help, he went vaulting over the very tiny fence between my store and someone's yard and just disappeared into the night. Just gone. No, he disappeared over that fence, and I have not seen him since. I hope he's okay. He's probably okay. He looked like he was a student, and I live in a college town, so they do that kind of weird stuff. But yeah, no, that was my weirdest experience. My craziest customer story. My current theme song, also from 221B. Oh boy. On a day-to-day basis, I think my theme song would probably be, probably Magic by the Cars. Shoot! I forgot to mention Mr. Raven by MC Lars. That's the kickinest song ever. So many literary references, so many goofy things. The what is it called? What are those called? Chorus. The chorus is who's that rapping? Who's that rapping at my chamber door? And it's funny because he's a rapper, also because it's in the poem, and I love that. So shout out to MC Lars. Love you. Your music was so good. Your concert was super fun when I saw you with the Aquabats, and I would definitely see you again. Also, you should really do this gigantic robot kilt. This is the last one from 221B, which is, if I could live in any one of my AUs, which one would it be? And I picked the Captain Yes Gear Pirate AU because it's funny, it's pirates, which I clearly love, he's horny, and I love Bottom Geralt so much. Subby Bottom Geralt is the boy, and that's my Captain Yes Gear Pirate AU. So that's where I would hang out. Also, his crew is made up of Peter Pan and the Lost Boys, and I love them. You can sort of see it through my shirt, but I have a tattoo. Let me just get all my stuff out of the way and show you. I have a tattoo of James Barrie, the guy who wrote Peter Pan. I have his signature tattooed here from a letter that I got. Well, not from him, but I got it online. The letter that he wrote. And then the acorn is the kiss from the book. So, now that you've seen my bare shoulders, let's move on. Have you ever dyed your hair before? Yes, I dyed my entire head blue. I will put a picture here of my blue hair. I was a summer camp counselor 4 or 5 years ago, and my hair was shorter, and I cut it off that summer for counseling because I knew it'd be hot, and I dyed it bright blue, and I convinced all the kids that I was a mermaid and that I lived in the lake at the camp overnight. Like, that's where I stayed. I didn't go home. I didn't drive to work. Like, I straight up hid my whole car that summer so kids wouldn't know which one was mine, so that I could pretend to live in the lake. Like, I got some biodegradable glitter, and I'd, like, sprinkle it in the woods, and I'd be like, okay, go find out where I hid my tail today. So, yeah, I did dye my hair blue. That was a thing I did, and it was super fun. Would suggest, it is expensive, though, to take care of it. So, None Gender Left Payne asked, what advice do you have for new members of the Witcher fandom? How do you break into the fandom easier? Oh, how is it easier to break into the fandom for shy people? And what's the origin of your username? So, step 1. New to the fandom? Do I have advice for you? Just be chill. Be cool. Let people enjoy things. The Witcher fandom is probably one of the least gatekeepy fandoms I have ever participated in. It has been so nice. There's no arguing about, like, relationships. Like, if you like a ship, cool. If you don't like a ship, whatever. We don't really harass each other about that stuff. And it feels really nice to be able to be part of a fandom where everyone just chills and vibes and, like, hangs out and enjoys reading stuff. Like, I'm not a huge Jens Gear person. You know, the people who write it, good for them. They're writing good stuff, and it's fun to read, and even if I don't necessarily like the ship, some of those authors are really good, and I still support them, and I still enjoy their content. And, you know, I think my advice to you would be just vibe. Just come into the fandom, be yourself, and be nice. And that's it. That's all we want to do, is, like, love and support each other and be nice, and I like that a lot about us. Breaking into the fandom for shy people. I always start with memes. I used to have a pretty popular Twilight blog. If anyone else was in the Twilight Renaissance, hello, it's me, the 104-year-old virgin. And I posted just memes. That's all I posted, was like memes and jokes. This is the first fandom I've written fanfiction for, The Witcher, in years. But, start little. Start with stuff that's not, like, personal, or, like, stuff that you think is goofy. Make a couple observations. I would also really look at the tag system. Tags is how I find a lot of stuff. Tags is how other people find a lot of stuff. Use your tags wisely. And once you know how to do that, it's easier to break out and, like, make more friends. And if I'm on my computer, the entire side of my blog is just the little bubbles from messaging people. I love talking to people. So, either use your tags and, like, grow that community, or find people that like to talk. Like, you know, come to me. I can connect you with a handful of other blogs that probably like the same stuff you do. And they're chill and they're nice. And it's awesome. The origin of my username. It's just bounce a coin off your Witcher. I looked at those butt cheeks, guys. I looked at those buns. I looked at those firm, solid steel Henry Cavill buns. And I thought, toss a coin to your Witcher. Bunny. Honey. Bounce a coin off your Witcher. If you get it stuck between them, bonus points. If you get your coin wedged in the butt, bonus points. Craziest Renaissance Fair experience and D&D class that fits you best. From Lavender Lemon Lime. Hey! I love your art, by the way. Love your stuff. Everything you touch. Lovely. Your comments, amazing. Love it when you tag. But I think the craziest Renaissance experience I had was because I was in Germany, and it's because a older man was trying to sell me something, and I did not speak fluent German, and he did not speak fluent English. and I ended up buying a leather bracelet, and it's really pretty, and I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces of jewelry. But getting through that process and playing charades for the price of jewelry, very entertaining. Eventually, he gave up and like wrote it down on a post-it note, but he was trying to like keep it as he's trying to stay in character. That's what he was doing. It wasn't ending well for either of us, but it was worth it. And then my D&D class, I always play bards. I always play bards. If I could find it, because we moved a couple months ago and my D&D stuff is like buried. I have a sparkly blue set of dice that I use all the time. They're my lucky dice. My D20's name is Baby. I love him very much. It is a him. Every time I roll for something stupid, if I play bards, which I always do, I always get a ton of nat 20s, but they're always for the stupidest things. Like, one time I taught a chameleon sign language. I'm a bard, baby. The bard life is a hard life, but I live it well. Costco or Sam's Club from Gods No Longer Tread Here. Hey, boo. I think Sam's Club has better hot dogs and better pizza. Not gonna lie. If I had to get pizza, I'd get it from Sam's Club. Oh, I like Sam's Club because I grew up with one, and I think they're a little smaller and just a little bit easier to, like, figure out. Maybe it's just my Costco. Dude, the Costco here sucks. Anyway. I like Sam's Club. Also, fave cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, so I can only have like a handful of cheese at a time. Just like eating cheese out of hand, like if this is a holiday party and there's just a platter of stuff and I'm doing the raccoon thing that I usually do, it's probably gonna be Kobe Jack. Good shit. Alright, we're getting to the end of the questions. If you could dress Geralt in any period clothing, what would it be and why? From Broken Horn. Hey Soul, how's it going, buddy? Ooh, you know that scene where Mr. Darcy gets out of the lake in like the 90s version of Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth? That. I want that. I want Colin Firth's costumery on my boy. Please. Netflix, please. Or anyone. Henry, take a role. Take a role. Oh my god, you know they always remake Pride and Prejudice like every 6 years. We're getting on. Somebody hire him to play Darcy, please. Or he can't. He'd be a great Bingley. You know that boy's got the giggles. Oh god, Henry Cavill is Mr. Bingley. Alright, you guys wanted some circus tricks? You guys are getting some circus tricks. Also, I apologize, I left my socks on because it's cold in here. They got hedgehogs on them though, and strawberries. Alright, here we go. Ooh, I'll move this way so y'all can see me. Ta-da! That's kind of like my go-to for parties. Like if people are drunk, I'm like, let me scare the shit out of you. And I just bend over backwards. I literally bend over backwards to please people. So that's all. That's me. I'm Bouncey. It was nice meeting you guys. It was really, really nice recording this and getting to answer all these fun questions. You guys asked me some really cool stuff. I'm not opposed to doing more of these, or if you guys want videos on like my writing process or other stuff. The babe has really wanted me to get into like the YouTube scene for a while because he thinks I'd be good at it. I don't know. We'll find out. If you guys think I'm cool enough, let me know. If you guys think I should definitely not do that, also let me know. Thanks for coming.
Ba-da, ba-doo-doo, ba-da, ba-doo-doo-doo-doo, ba.